Indianapolis, the racing capital of the world. Since 1909, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway has been the undisputed pinnacle of the racing world. This is the place where legends are made and hearts are broken. This is the one race everyone wants to win. For the first time in its 54-year history, the SCCA National Championship Runoffs travels to Indianapolis. With nearly 1,000 entries in 28 different classes, the Runoffs is the biggest auto race in the world. It features the best amateur drivers in the country vying for the title of national champion. One legendary track, one epic race, one shot at glory. The SCCA Runoffs starts now.
And we welcome you live to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Coverage of the 54th SCCA National Championship Runoffs, first time ever at Indy. Glad to have you with us on this Friday morning. I'm Rick Benjamin. Dorsey Schrader is alongside. We are set to bring you coverage of Spec Racer Ford, 50 cars strong on this 54th running of the SCCA Runoffs. And our coverage all weekend being brought to you by our friends at Mazda. Dorsey, great to see you as always this morning, my friend. We're going to have lots of fun here over the next couple of days.
50 cars, yeah, I would say we're going to have a lot of fun. Take a look at our track map here today. And this course at Indy is 2.592 miles, so just a little over 2.5 mile long. The most prominent feature, of course, is the huge front straightaway. It's one of the longest that any car will run on. Sector 1 comprises from start-finish line all the way through past turn 6, which is actually onto the back straightaway, at the end of the back straightaway. The infield characteristics here, as you can see, very flat, lack of grip for the most part. Sector 2 is off the back straightaway, and it runs all the way around through turn 7 till 10 and a half if you want to be technical about it. And, of course, then you're starting to set yourself up for Sector 3, which is the course that brings you back onto the front straightaway. High speed, but the infield has very little grip. That being said, it was 90 degrees all during practice and qualifying. We had a cold front come through, 2 of them to be exact, and now the temperatures are dropped to a very pleasant 60. So an increase of grip is going to make a big difference to these cars.
It's going to be exciting here. We've watched these starts, and Spec Racer Ford always gives us great racing. I mean, you ran in that a long time ago. You had a lot of experience in this chassis car in the Renault days. You're going to see 4 and 5 wide here at times.
Yeah, and that can catch you off. You look at this turn 1, the shot we're looking at right now, you could get probably 6, 8 wide there, but that's a very tight turn 1, and the apex curb is very abusive. It's very tall, and if you hit it, you're going to bicycle the car up on 2 wheels. It's so easy that corner I call a sucker corner, because you can go in 8 wide, but there's only one guy going to come out of there at a time. And if you don't get that worked out before you get there, well, there's going to be crashes in turn 1, is what I'm trying to say.
It's going to be wild here, no question about it. And one of the things that we've had drivers tell us here in the last couple of days since we've been at these runoffs here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, you mentioned grip levels and how it's changed, and cooler temperatures certainly play to that. You've got a lot of different tires being used here, so many different kinds of rubber, as is always the case at the runoffs.
Yeah, and you don't know who, the class in front of you dictates what you're running on as far as the rubber that was just put down goes. These cars are all identical in weight. They're identical in horsepower. They're spec class car. So that being said, you would be really well advised to have a team of cars or some guys that you can work with in the draft because of this very long front straightaway. I mean, everybody's going to be drafting off each other, and you have to work together to make this work. If you're cutting each other up going into corners, it's going to slow you up, and guys that are working together and being clean are going to come right by.
All right, let's get to some updates as we get set to go racing here at Spec Racer Ford at Indy. Downstairs on pit road, once again with us this year, Hayward Wagner.
And as always, a perfect segue from Dorsey Schrader. In qualifying, the way to go was with a pair. It was dance partners. And your front row, Todd Harris and Mike Miserandino were a pair. Your second row, Denny Stribling and Scott Reddick were a pair. Those pairs ran very well together, just the 2 of them, but it seemed like with these cars, every time that we got into a 3 or a 4 or a 5 car train, everybody slowed down. This is going to be the first time where they're going to have to find real efficiency in larger packs. Expect to see those 4 guys try to break away, but it's going to come down to whether they can get into pairs and really start to make some distance, or they're going to have to stay in the longer drafts, which is going to trade the lead over and over and over again.
It ought to be exciting. Our distance here, we've got 40 minutes of clock time, 19 laps the distance. So our race distance here is, about 40 miles, 45 miles, something like that. So as always, in the runoff, sprint racing, as is the norm in SCCA club racing across the country. This will be exciting start to finish. And behind this one, our doubleheader to kick things off here on Friday, Spec with 72 cars set to do battle.
Two of the most aggressive classes out there, and we're going to run them back to back, no doubt. You're going to see in this particular class groups of cars, pairings of cars. It would be great if you could pair up with one other guy, but that probably is not going to happen. You're going to end up with groups of 5 or 10 cars that will break away, and it's all about discipline. You have to work together, and you have to let things ride out. You can't be aggressive, otherwise you'll fall to the back quickly.
Field coming off of the paddock pre-grid. This is one of the, what you're looking at here, if you've never seen the road course configuration at Indy, this is oval turn 1, pit out here for IndyCar, for the Indy 500. Obviously, we're going in the other direction here today. And we'll have 50 of these Spec Racer Fords funneling out behind the safety car, set to do battle for our 19-lap, 40-minute challenger.
25 rows of 2. What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah, hard to imagine. Hard to imagine. The defending champion in this class, Todd Harris. He's your pole sitter in the 42 car. He is from Portland, Oregon, the Pro Drive Flat Out Racing 42 car. Mike Miserandino from Bakersfield, California, the MBI Racing 11 car starts alongside. They were 1-2 in this 1 year ago.
Yeah, and they've worked together, and they know each other's characteristics, driving-wise. They will be a hard pair to beat. Everybody behind them better pair up and then follow the leader, if you will. You can beat them as long as you're in line and clean. You can't beat them if you're not.
Field funneling down pit road, coming out behind the safety car over the legendary yard of bricks, which still exists as part of the original Indianapolis Motor Speedway dating back to the early 1900s here. You're on pit road. If you've never been here before, one of the cool things about this is you can actually walk on that yard of bricks. It stretches all the way across now underneath pit road and out into the pagoda area behind the racetrack where fans congregate, of course, for these weeks. And we assume a lot of drivers will want to kiss the bricks if they win their national championship here.
Yeah, you can look for that. No doubt about it. Why would you not? For the first time, that's one of the allures of this racetrack. We're coming to Indy, where the Indy 500 has been for all the years since day one. And this to these guys is heaven. It's a mecca, and they're here. And if you should be able to be so fortunate to win, you're gonna be out there and kiss those bricks like every driver before you.
When you and I did this coverage along with Greg and Jeff a couple of years ago at Daytona, I thought, man, it doesn't get a whole lot better than this if you're an SCCA member, as we are in club racers down through the history. But coming to Indy is certainly in that category, no doubt about it.
Yeah, it is. But this is a much more difficult track than Daytona. The infield here at Indy is very technical. The race car is on a flat surface. There's not much grip. They're real long corners or long radius corners, and it's really hard to get a grip on that infield. As you can see, the field's starting to form up here.
Yeah, and this is the F1 configuration that's being used. This is a little different. We were here earlier this year for Trans Am and for F4. It's a little different layout than was used for those two events.
They haven't changed the infield a great deal, but there is 2 or 3 different layouts that they have comprised over the years since they started doing this. And this is back to the original, the first year of the F1. It's like I say, it's much more difficult than you're thinking. Passing here is not easy by any means.
Field coming out on the safety lap, and we'll be ready to go here very shortly. Harrison Miserandino on the front row. Starting lineup, top of your screen from our friends at Mazda. You can keep track of where your favorite driver is throughout the course of each of our event calls here this weekend. Denny Stripling in the 7, Scott Reddick in the 17 will line up in row number 2. Guys who normally run at the front in Spec Racer Ford, no question about it. Third row includes the Todd Vanacore machine, the 9 car. He's from Ormond Beach, Florida. Charles Turner in the 51. Doug Mead from Florida starts 7th in the 3. Matthew Harper from Charlotte, North Carolina, lines up 8th in the 77. Richard Baldwin from Covington, Louisiana in the 25. And Dave Ogburn from San Angelo, Texas in the 08. That is your top 10 in this 50-car grid.
And you were talking about the fact that these cars were comprised. They were actually invented and built in '84 as a sports Renault. I had one of those original cars, chassis number 35, and that car is out there right now in this race. So that shows you the resiliency of the chassis.
Because you folded that one up a couple of times,
Yeah,
didn't
I
you?
killed that car twice. I don't know. It must be like Christine. It's back.
So we're getting set to go. The lights are out on the Corvette pace car here, and we should be ready to start our third race of the day. Dorsey and I have first opportunity to call one of these today in the SCCA Runoffs, the 54th renewal of this terrific event. Nearly 1,000 cars on the grounds here, over 1,000 original entries. As normal, some teams are just not able to actually get their car here to the Speedway and get it ready to run, but we've got close to 1,000 entries overall. 3 great days of racing coming your way. We're glad to have you with us here at SCCA.com. Some of our broadcasts will be available on regular cable television a little later on. We'll talk more about that as we get into this day today. Spec Racer Ford about to fire off, and they use part of the short chute here and then back into the infield road course. Cars will funnel up onto the front straightaway here at Indy for a 3,700-foot run down into one, and we expect a ton of action here in Spec Racer Ford. Glad to have you with us. Front row is Todd Harris in the 42, Mike Miserandino in the 11 car. Harris in that red and white machine right of your screen right now. Everybody starting to jockey. Green flag is in the air. Glad to have you with us. We're underway at Indy.
I'd be holding my breath right now and hard on that steering wheel because it's got big down here in turn 1. We're 5 wide already.
Denny Stripling on the inside of the black 7 car. Looks like the 11 of Miserandino's got the early lead. No, Harris able to poke the nose of his car back around him. Several cars jockeying for position. And it's the 17 taking the early lead. That's Scott Reddick from 4th starting spot. Everywhere. We have trouble coming out of turn number 1.
And I knew it would because you saw those cars going off on the outside in the dirt. There's no grip out there. The 25 car, one of our cars that were up front, that car qualified quite well. It was the 9th place Colin Baldwin. He's caught up in it.
Looks like the 77 of Matthew Harper from Charlotte, front of that car, heavily damaged. Steam coming out of that car. Not sure if we'll go full course yellow or not. We're green at the moment here on the backside. Reddick in the 17 is your early leader. Miserandino in the 11 tucking in. And Harris in the 42, your top 3. The 51 car right there, that's Turner. He lined up in 5th spot. He has moved to 4th after that early carnage. Look at him jockeying for position here.
Unfortunately, that big wreck up there was all top 10 cars.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of cars. I saw one of the cars go off and got into the dirt, and I knew from there it was going to be an accordion.
One more look at it here. Into turn 1, the right-hander.
3 wide, they're starting to bump. There's a car that's been spun now, and it collects a couple more. All those cars, like I say, were top 10 cars. Good for these guys in the back. They just moved up a whole lot of places.
It does help if that happens. The 25 of Richard Baldwin from Louisiana, he has been involved in that as well, and we stay under green conditions here at the moment. We'll see what happens. Looks like the yellow is going to wave.
One thing about these cars is that, yeah, we got full course yellow now. You see them covered in tires. One thing, these cars are very, very tough cars. They're strong cars. You can normally drive away from a wreck like that.
Yeah.
You know, body work might be tore up, but the chassis is still good.
Well, this is sprint racing, of course, and if you have to come to pit road, your chances of victory pretty much done, but we'll see if most of these competitors, or some of them, are going to be able to tag the back end of the field and get set for a restart here. Pace car is back out, and it looks as though the pace car may bring the field to a halt here. Yellows are waving. We don't see a red flag here, but it's certainly slow pace. One car has come to pit road already.
Yeah, a couple of those cars should be coming back to pit road to get body work repaired, or, you know what, one of the weak points on this car is the radiator inlet. It's really easy to knock the little aluminum piece up and clog your radiator, and I'm sure most of those guys will have to go in and have that addressed.
So the safety car is out, double yellows waving, full course caution. We're under a 40-minute time limit. We burned nearly 3 minutes of that already with 1 of 19 laps complete here.
Yeah, 2.5 miles.
Yeah.
Long way around.
Scott Reddick will be your restart leader in the 17. Miserandino, who started second. Harris, who lined up on the pole. Those will be your first 3 cars for the restart. And the safety car will take them into oval turn 4 here.
Yeah, you got a
allow the
blockage
cleanup
down.
crew. Yeah.
Yeah, you see down there in turn 1 or 1.5, there's still a couple cars down there have not been addressed yet. One at the back of the first wrecker, and of course there's one sitting in the grass.
You can tell the different configurations. You see there's 2 versions of turn 1 on the road course here. And for this runoffs, the SCCA has chosen the very tight first cutoff there. The first turn 1 that you can see is what we're using here.
And unfortunately, that corner does crash a lot of cars. But the apex curb there, or the curb to the driver's right, if you hit that, it's really abusive, and it'll put the car up in the air. It's such a tight corner. It's, you know, maybe two guys side by side, but you see what happens. 5 or 6 or 7 wide, and they don't get it worked out in time.
Yeah, you have to settle down in there. I mean, you might be able to make it 3 wide in that corner, maybe, but that's about it.
Yeah, and you can't, you know, I say this, and I've been saying it for 45 years. You cannot win this race on the first corner, first lap. It's impossible. You can lose it there.
But that tendency, and today in motorsports, at this level, at pro levels all over, you know that your best opportunity to pass is on a start or a restart. Here's another look at what happened just moments ago.
And it was about that
course yellow.
4th row back where they got 4 wide, and there was no, you know, when you do that, you're taking all your margin of error away.
Yeah.
And when something goes wrong, there's nowhere to go.
You've got the curbing there, and it's pretty narrow. It narrows up a lot from that front straightaway.
It's really up. It's a funnel.
Yeah.
You know, and you're going in there 5 wide, and everybody's got plenty of room, and all of a sudden, there's only room for 2 of us guys.
But as we started to say, and Dorsey, you know this, you're many years behind the wheel of these kind of cars and many others in your pro career. You know that at the start, that's your best opportunity to make hay. If you're back 10th or 12th, you know,
Yeah, starts and restarts for at least the first 2 laps. You get as aggressive as you can get away with, because you can gain the most ground right there. And then you settle in and you let things ride. You know, you let it happen. But, you know, you have to take that chance, at least at the beginning.
Yeah. So the restart lead will be Scott Reddick in the 17 car. Miserandino, who's qualified second, will line up behind him. Then you've got Harris, the pole sitter, Todd Harris, the defending champion in Spec Racer Ford. Turner in the 51, Stripling in the 7, Harper in the 77, Solis in the 022, Ogburn in the 08, Panaggio in the 191, Goodman in the 5. That's your top 10. Running order top of your screen here.
You look at Reddick, Miserandino, Harris, those are always been there. Those names have been at the top no matter what year you look at. They've always been there. Understanding that this is the first race for everyone on this track, the cream still comes to the top.
Oh, absolutely.
Same guys.
Absolutely. Lights out on the safety car. Should be ready for a restart this time by as we work lap number 2. Hayward, quickly, what do you have for us?
Guys, just a real quick shout out and congratulations to the and thank you to the safety crew here in Indianapolis. If you pay attention on the starts, they're rolling trucks behind the grid into turn 1. The trucks get there before the accident is over in some cases. We saw it yesterday, last chance. It's a huge hustle to get it cleared. This was only 2 yellow flag laps.
Amazing that they were able to get this cleaned up and ready to go here in such a short order. You're exactly right. Hayward Wagner with our coverage on pit road all weekend long here in our coverage of these 54th SCCA National Championship run-ups. All right, set for a restart. Working lap number 2 now. And it is Reddick in the 17 who will set the pace. Brings him off of the final corner nice and slow. Turn 15 here in this road course configuration. Single file restart. We are underway. Ought to be a little cleaner this time.
Should be, but, you know, I look for a 3-car breakaway. Reddick, Miserandino, Harris, these guys are going to see they're already doing it. They're already nose to tail, line to stern. Out there.
Miserandino in the 11 swings to the inside. He's looking for the lead down into 1. Harris trying to get by as well. Can't get it done. There's that curbing you were talking about.
And you saw how it bicycled the car up. You're right, though. What you were talking about before, Rick, was the fact that that is a place to make a pass down into turn 1 on the beginning lap. But I think they'll clean it up now. And you're going to see these 3 guys start working together.
Reddick in the 17 settling into second. Todd Harris, the defending champion of the 42 car, in third. Turner in the 51, that blue machine, settling into 4th spot right now.
A lot easier to negotiate deals with 2 other guys instead of 12.
Yeah. Well, and you know, to your point earlier too, you know that you try to make a move on the start or the restart for sure. But now these guys, I would think, especially the cars in the top 10, have got to be thinking, hey, we need to get through the first couple of corners here and not stack a bunch of us up.
Yeah, they have no rhythm right now. They haven't established any kind of a rhythm. There's a car off back there. I think that's from the original wreck. They just parked it back there. But this whole group is doing a pretty good job. I expected 3 guys to work like this, but this whole group of probably 8 cars is all working well together.
All right, so talk to me about how important the draft is in a Spec Racer Ford.
It's really, really important because of a couple of things. And it's just not the draft being close up behind the guy in front of you, but you have to do like if you were running a tape down the side of the car, you can't have your nose sticking out from somebody else's nose as it slows everybody up. So you have to be very precise. And it's hard to do that. It really, everybody's got to really be in coordination with one another to make it work. As these guys are, you see how close they are.
Scott Reddick in the 17, right up behind Miserandino in the 11 car as they come onto the front stretch here. How far back will the tow last? Is Harris able to stay in the draft?
Yeah, if he, the more cars, the more the gap. The further back the gap extends. But if you're, say, 3 to 5 car lengths back, you're going to get helped for sure.
And if you lose the draft in one of these cars,
You
it's
drop
such a
half
momentum
second.
car.
Yeah, you're going to lose a half second every straightaway.
And we've got another one of these races where momentum and drafting will be crucial coming up next. Spec Miata is the second half of our opening doubleheader here, and Greg and Jeff will slide back in to kick off the afternoon's coverage here for you. Miserandino in the 11 is your leader. He's out of Bakersfield, California in the MBI Racing 11 car, and he's doing a terrific job to set the pace here in the early going.
See, these cars, since they are exactly the same horsepower, the draft works all the way around the racetrack, not just the straightaway. I mean, the fact that they all have exactly the same stuff under the hood, anywhere that you're in tight proximity with the car in front of you, you're getting an advantage. All these guys are, you can see all of these cars working very well together.
The 7, the 5th place car, it's Denny Stripling. He's from McKinney, Texas, in that black machine with the yellow trim. Then the 77 a little further back, Matthew Harper from Charlotte. He was involved in that opening lap mishap there down in turn 1, but his car not heavily damaged. He's been able to run nicely here and get close now and get himself into the mix here a little bit.
Yeah, he's got a pretty good, he's in a good area because he's got a lot of help from the guys in front of him. If he drives clean and he drives using all the road, he should be able to gain advantage to those guys up front.
Harris in the flat-out 42, your defending champion pole qualifier here, got shuffled out of the lead in the initial scramble down out of turn 1, where we had several cars involved in a wreck down there and caused the full course yellow. And now he's trying to play catch-up ball as the top 3 start to separate a little bit here through the infield.
Yeah, as long as they work and these guys race each other a lot, so they're very competent with one another. I'm sure they're doing hand signals between the cars, just keeping tight. Is what you need to do right now. Long way to go.
2 by 2 by 2 is what we have right now. Harper in the 77 back there, and behind him.
That's what Hayward was telling us was a good combination.
The 7th place car starting to get up into the mix. Top 3 starting to pull away just a little bit now. Harris, the 3rd car in that group. And then you've got Turner and Stripling, the 51 and the 7 working together in 4th and 5th. 6th and 7th, Harper in the 77, and Solis in the 022. That's the red car.
It's not like the 3 cars can't be fast together, but it takes, the more you add numbers to it, the more it gets more complicated for everybody to do what they're supposed to be doing. 3 cars, 4 cars can run really well together if all 4 guys do exactly the same thing at the same time.
As we were watching practice and qualifying here earlier in the week, Dorsey, we had a little conversation going on off the air about how challenging this track can be in some places, because you said long corners.
Yeah.
Really takes a lot out of a driver.
Yeah, and what a long corner is like a 180-degree corner. Well, you're wanting to accelerate through that corner the whole way. The problem is that you'll end up obtaining too much speed for the grip that the car can generate, and then you're going to have to adjust the speed of the car somewhere in that corner. And depending on how good you are at managing your car, it's either going to lose speed at a given point, or you're trying to average the corner out.
Yeah.
Corner entry, corner exit, corner middle. It's not that easy to get all 3 of them right. It's easy to get the first 2 right. So 2 of the 3 is not hard, but the 3rd one's really hard.
Working lap number 4 now. Of 19 laps, our scheduled distance in Spec Racer Ford. 50 entries on the grid this weekend.
It's nice and cool out, so these guys can draft. You see that the car's back there in 4th place. You can get up underneath the guy right now because it's not 100 degrees out. You're not going to overheat your car, so you can run tight proximity right now.
Top 3 starting to move a little bit. This is the 7 of Stripling to the inside of the 51 of Turner for 4th, and Stripling will take 4th.
And it's a perfect pass, and the reason I say that is he popped out in the straightaway, he executed his pass, and he got back in line before turn in for the next corner. So it didn't cost either of those cars any time for the pass to happen.
Here comes Harris in the 42, taking a look. This little short straightaway here between the 2 right-handers, that's pretty inviting for some of these guys.
Well, and they're going to have to find places like that, because there's not, the wide open spaces will go away at the end.
Yeah.
They won't let you have that.
The 7 car now, Stripling starting to reel in the top 3. I think the 51 was maybe holding him up just a little bit.
Could be. You'll find that combination too, that because of aero or whatever, some cars will be better in front than they are following. You know, if you have a car that, you know, is aero dependent and you're up underneath some guy, you're losing ground. But if you pop to the front of him, all of a sudden you get that air on your nose, you're quicker and you're pulling him along.
We hear a lot in all forms of racing about drivers using up, burning off their tires. How easy is it to burn off the tires of one of these cars?
They're not too, these are pretty resilient. These tires on these cars are not that hard. You can, if you're going to overheat one end of it, it's going to be the back end. You know, you could definitely put damage to the rear tires if you start sliding around, and sliding around is something you don't want to do with this configuration. This is Series 1, or actually Series 2, because Sports Renault is Series 1. But these do not have the power of a Gen 3 car. So you can't recover speed lost. It takes another lap to get back what you lost.
Harper in the 77 all over the back end of the 51 car of Turner here. This is a battle for position, challenging for a top 5 spot. The 7 car of Stripling has pulled up into 4th and has started to work by himself now to try to catch the top 3. He could use a caution.
Oh, yeah, for sure. This is such a fun class to run.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why is because the cars are so identical. They do everything exactly the same, so you have no sense of speed. You could have like 5-6 cars running within an inch of each other, but you feel like you're doing 0 mile per hour because there's no speed difference between the cars. You have to look at something stationary to scare yourself.
Mike Miserandino in the 11 continues as your leader. Scott Reddick in the 17 is your second place driver. Todd Harris, the pole sitter, in the 42. The defending champ at Spec Racer Ford sits in 3rd. Let's get an update from pit road. Hayward Wagner.
Guys, I was just out with Alliance Autosport talking about Scott Reddick and his radio communication. I asked them, where do you want to be on the last lap? Do you want to be leading? Do you want to be right behind? They all shrugged and said, no one's raced here. We don't know yet.
That's a good point. There is not any data bank, you know, to go back and look at. This is the first time for these cars and these drivers on this racetrack. But at least these guys up front know this. They know their cars and they know each other well enough to know that, you know, what's going to happen, which is a war is going to break out right at the end.
3,700 feet that front straightaway, and the backstretch plenty long here as well.
It is.
Yeah, not quite the full length of Indianapolis Motor Speedway, but close to it. So you've got something here for these guys. This is the longest straightaway, I would think, that they encounter all year.
Yeah, it will be. And on top of that, you come onto the straightaway with pretty good speed. You're in 3rd gear when you enter that straightaway, so you're probably already up in the upper 70, 80 mile per hour range when you enter the straightaway, and you've got a long one after that.
It's a sweeper, and the cars are coming to that point right now, and you can accelerate hard, I would think, off of that corner out onto the front stretch.
These cars have plenty enough grip, and, you know, they're horsepower limited.
Battling for position here. A little further back, the 7 of Stripling, the 51 of Turner, the 77 of Harper. Here comes the 77 car swinging out, trying to move by Turner in the 51 for 5th spot.
He should actually, well, if they carry it right down to the turn-in, he gets it done right before the turn-in, which is good again. Ooh, little wide of his exit there, and cost him time.
Solis in the 022 trying to get into the mix there as well. The 51 car of Turner back at it.
He's getting pulled along. These two guys racing are now opening a double pocket of air for the orange car. You know, and you see it right there. He just gets drawn right up in there.
Yeah, Turner with the over and under move nicely to get back into 5th position. Of course, everybody's fighting for a podium spot, gold, silver, and bronze medals, but a top 5 here, nothing to sneeze at in a 50-car class.
Right, exactly. When you got 50 cars, top 5 would look real good.
Top 3 continuing to add to the lead ever so slightly, lap by lap. The 7 car of Stripling in 4th. Looked like he might be able to reel in the leaders. We're probably seeing a case there, Dorsey, where Stripling's working alone. The top 3 are drafting together. Stripling by himself can't get close.
No, and if you're by yourself, you have one thing to do, and just drive that car as smooth as you possibly can, but you are a sitting duck for anybody who's paired with someone else. It's probably a half second down the straightaway.
Yeah, I would think so. Turner in the 51. Back into 5th now. The 77 of Harper, the 022 of Solis, the red machine back there. 5th, 6th, and 7th right now as they come to the last couple of corners here in the infield. We've got great battles throughout the field, as you would expect, in Spec Racer Ford. The 77 car, Harper taking a look on the 51 of Turner once again for 5th, a little further back, the 99 car. This is for position deeper in the field here.
But it's a group of
5-car gaggle, yeah.
And that's what you normally typically would see, is that you'll have groups of cars that get separated. You know, one guy gets squirrely at the head of a line like this. everybody's got to check up not to hit him, and then everybody drops back and they lose the draft of the group in front of them. So you end up with these groups, like this group of 5 right here. They've been shuffled. Ooh, the 78 car drops wheels, and almost, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That mistake right there is the mistake that made them lose the pack in front of them. Somebody messed up, and they weren't able to stay in the draft, and now they're just back there trying to get back caught up again, which without a yellow probably will not happen.
The 99, Bernard Grogan from Pennsylvania, qualified 29th. He's at the head of this group right now. Running order at the top of your screen, the 81 car back there. That's Mark Fickinger of Painesville, Ohio. He qualified 34th. They're battling for position deep in the field here, but it's great racing back there.
Yeah, the 81 and 87 just had to go at each other, and that cost them. Look now what happened because of what they've done. They've lost their lead tow by about 6-8 cars.
The 87 car, driver out of Tampa, Florida, John Annis, qualified in 31st.
He's been around a long time. John's been driving these cars for many years.
The PM Racing engine. So you've got a good battle for position here.
You know, as much as you try to be disciplined and you run in 5 cars like that, any of the guys up in front of you that make a mistake affect your overall outcome too. I mean,
sure.
You can't just, you know, if they make the mistake, it slows the whole pack up. And then if you lose the draft of the pack in front of it, like these guys have lost that draft, now you're looking for a yellow.
Yeah. And they need the help to try to get up into the mix and get somewhere near the top 10 before we get to the checkered flag. 11 laps to go as we come to start finish here. We'll put lap number 9 on the board. It'll be 10 to go. Your leader continues to be Mike Miserandino in the 11. Scott Reddick in the 17. Running in second. Todd Harris in the 42. Third. Harris the defending champ. Fast qualifier here. Maybe waiting for the final couple of laps. We will see how this one plays out. Quick timeout for us here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. More to come from the 54th running of the SCCA National Championship Runoffs.
Coverage of the SCCA National Championship Runoffs is presented by Mazda. Driving matters.
Every stitch is a part of me. All these shapes and designs express our devotion to craftsmanship. I want people to feel our passion when they touch it and when they drive it.
The all-new Mazda CX-5. Can you feel something without touching it? See something with your eyes closed. When everything is designed around you, the driver, you can. The Mazda 3.
And we welcome you back live to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway alongside Dorsey Schrader, I'm Rick Benjamin, Hayward Wagner with our coverage as always here on Pit Road. Fight going on here for 11th spot right now. Blackwell in the 36 car. Richard Blackwell, who's been doing this a long time as well. His 5th appearance at the Runoffs. A couple of times his 3rd start at Spec Racer Ford. He was 9th a couple of years ago at Daytona. He's got that spot right now in 11th place, trying to hang on here, trying to challenge the 101. The 181 rather of Fox for position.
And they're indeed starting to run down the deficit between their position and the ones in front of them. So it's about to be a 6-car, not a 3-car race. It's about to be 6 cars fighting for that position.
Todd Fox there in the 181 car. He is a contender for a top 10 spot, sitting 10th right now out of Memphis, Tennessee. He has climbed from 14th on the grid to sit 10th at the moment. And they're trying to reel in the cars that are running 7th, 8th, and 9th. Solis in the 022 is 7th right now. The 8th spot belongs to the 16 of Cullen, the 5, and here comes a move to the inside, the 36 of Blackwell. Richard Blackwell picks up 10th spot.
I like the way he did it, too. He popped over there very decisively, made sure that the 191 knew I'm coming by on this lap. That's the right thing to do, because then the 191 has the option of saying, okay, I'll let you have that, so we don't go into the apex side by side. Go ahead and take that position from me right now.
That's
it won't slow us down.
Tom Panaggio in the 191. He is from Tampa, Florida. Now Now, I was going to ask you, Doris, on a move like that, the 36 car making that move to pick up the spot. When you dive inside, even in these cars at a place like Indy, into that pretty tight turn one, you're leaving yourself open to be repassed on the exit, aren't you?
Yeah, particularly if you get it wrong. If you don't adjust the speed and you go diving down into a corner and you have too much speed, you're not going to be able to keep the line of the car. It's going to go out wide, and if the car that you're passing realizes that you've done that and tricks you into making that mistake, he just waits for your back of his car, your car, to go by him and cuts inside and just drives right up the inside. And all that was for nothing.
Yeah, exactly. The 16 car, Bill Cullen from Merritt Island, Florida, has been doing this quite a while as well. Back to the leaders here, coming out of the front straightaway. Miserandino still there. Harris now looks like has moved to second. No, he's back there in third still. Second spot still belongs to Scott Reddick in the 17, who's been at these runoffs for a very long time and has been hugely successful in a variety of classes. Harris in the 42 running in third spot. And these three, maybe they've decided, Dorsey, we're going to ride here until the last lap or two and then fight it out.
That's exactly what they're doing. They're just running off laps right now because there's no need to be aggressive with one another. They're doing exactly what they set off to do. They're gapping themselves to fourth place. And we're going to have a battle for 3 cars for the win here. Not 12 cars.
Yeah, you just never know how this is going to play out, of course. And in all forms of racing, you'll see something like this develop. And if you're the guy in third and you're the fast qualifier, do you at some point say, okay, I'm going to just try things and see where I can make a move?
If you're back there right now and you're just leisurely running laps off, you can start trying to get a game plan, like you're talking about. You start moving your car around and looking at different options that you might have, seeing if there's a place that you might be stronger or the guy in front of you is a little bit weaker, and so you can capitalize on that toward the end. Denny
Stripling in that black 7 car running fourth out of McKinney, Texas, qualified third. Got shuffled back a little bit on that opening lap scramble in turn 1. He has spent much of the race to this point trying to catch the top 3 with no drafting help.
And that's just nearly impossible unless they make a mistake up here. Now, what will happen is toward the end of the race, they're going to start trying to race each other. He will get drawn back into the fray then, as long as he can just stay at the gap. Right now, though, he's got no dancing partner. He's just out there by himself.
Turner in the 51 continues to run in 5th. Harper in the 77. Solis in the 022. Running 5th, 6th, and 7th. They pulled away from the 8th, 9th, and 10th place battle. Ogburn in the 08, Cullen in the 16, Goodman in the 5. You've got Fox there in the 181, and Blackwell in the 36. They've been fighting for position. They're in the top 15, trying to get to the top 10. And again, as we talked about, Mercy, a few minutes ago, yeah, you want to be on the podium. Yes, you want a medal here. Yes, you want to win if at all possible.
Good job right there by a lap car. The 22 moves over, lets the top 3 go by. Didn't hinder any one of those cars any more than the other, and that was a heads-up move by the 22.
Local driver Dave DeBolt from Cumberland, Indiana, not too far from Indianapolis, but never with an opportunity to race here before. One of the interesting parts of coming to Indy, unlike Daytona, there's never been a club race out there.
And that's what made it interesting. Nobody has a track advantage here whatsoever. These guys that run with each other, these top 3 that run like this all the time, and anywhere that they go, they have the advantage of knowing one another's driving habits. So that works. But nobody came here with a clue as to what was the right setup for chassis, what's going to be like when I get at Indy. It's brand new to everyone, and so that's very intriguing.
Your 4th place car of Stripling, the 7. 22 of DeBolt, a lapped car, and this could provide an opportunity for the 022 of Solis. Takes a look at the 51 of Turner, moves by. DeBolt letting these faster cars go.
Yeah, again, 22 heads up driving right there. Hats off to him. He's quite aware of the fact that these guys are racing for position and they're going by him, and he just let it happen, and that's really the right thing to do.
Mike Miserandino, your race leader. This is his 13th appearance in the runoffs. He won 4 straight Spec Racer Ford National Championships. 2006, he won the President's Cup and then Triple Crown at Heartland Park in Topeka. A championship in 07 and 08 at Heartland Park, and then in 09 at Road America. He was 2nd in 2014, and last year at Mid-Ohio. 5-time division champion at Spec Racer Ford, and 2nd in the majors a couple of years ago. A guy with tremendous credentials coming in here. We'll see whether he is going to be able to wrap up a championship here in 2017 at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Still your leader with lap 13 on the board. 6 to go this time by.
And those next 6 laps are going to be quite interesting because right now everybody behaving themselves and doing the job. But it's going to, I'd say within 3 laps, you're going to see some aggression come out because 3 laps to go, you're going to have to start trying to make some kind of a move.
The 181 here, this is the fight for 10th. The 181 of Fox, Goodman in the 5, and the 36 of Blackwell. 10th, 11th, and 12th. Very much in the thick of things here on the front straightaway. The 16 of Cullen ahead of these cars by 10 or 12 car lengths.
And they have to be disciplined right now if they're going to catch the 16. Right now, you see, as they start popping out now, this is going to slow that group down. 16 is going to squeak away a little bit because of that.
Blackwell, they go 3 wide coming out of 1. Blackwell in the black 36 car moves up a couple of spots. Last time he tried this, he got passed right away. And here's Goodman right back at him in the 5.
That's the complexity of a bunch of cars. Is you making a pass attempt on 1 car, if it doesn't happen, you might get passed by 3 more. You might not only lose 1 position, you might lose a bunch of positions.
And I think for people just coming into racing or thinking, gee, I can do that, or I want to give this a try, it's huge fun. We're all here because we love this sport. Part of this is racecraft, learning where to be fast.
Yeah, and one of the mistakes a rookie makes in a big group like this is, the 35 wants to get by the car in front of him. And that's fine. He wants to pass that 5 car at all expenses, but he needs to look past the 5 car to make sure that there's some place to go once he gets there. And that's a mistake made. So he could pop out on the 5, get alongside of him, but the 161 happens to be right in front of the 5, and there's nowhere for him to pull back in.
Yeah.
So he's stuck on the wrong side of the racetrack. Everybody freight trains him, and all of a sudden he loses 10 positions.
Next car in line is Tom Panaggio there in that silver and black 191 out of Tampa, Florida. Panaggio, a guy who's got a pretty good record in this class as well over the years. Side-by-side battle here. Blackwell in the 36-5. The white 5 car is Goodman. They are fighting for a spot in the top 10 here as the laps wind down at Indy.
Told you wanted by.
Yeah.
And he got by.
Yeah, Blackwell, this has been a great fight for position here. And one of the things we love about these kinds of classes in the SCCA and the SCCA runoffs is that you've got these equivalent cars and drivers just fighting their guts out for a couple of inches of space.
Any spec car, class car, you're polishing the thing. You got to get the most out of it. 100% is not good enough. You got to find another 1% because everybody's got the same equipment, and it makes for great racing. Now the 5's going to do a payback. You did it to me, I'll do it to you.
Again for the top 10, the 5 car of Goodman moves back into 10th, getting by Blackwell. Blackwell will challenge though. They get side by side coming through 1 and 2 here. Panaggio in the 191 right there watching things. He's in 13th.
And that's sometimes the right thing to do. Sit back there. These 2 guys are cutting and thrusting back and forth. Here they are side by side again. I'm going to watch this for a while and see which guy I favor, because sooner or later it's going to work itself out.
Fox in the 181 in 10th position up ahead of this group, and he's taken advantage of this battle. And you know, Dorsey, as well as anybody, sometimes when you look up in that mirror and you see that going on behind you, you think, thanks, boys, I'm going to set sail.
Yeah, you see that fight behind you, and then you just drive clean and concise, and you'll gap these guys.
Fox's problem, along with Cullen in 9th in the 16, they're by themselves, right? They don't have a drafting partner.
Yeah, and that's so frustrating. You're just sitting there waiting for something to happen, and there's nothing you can do but just sit and wait.
Coming up on 8 minutes remaining, working lap 15, 3 to go next time by. Now, you were theorizing that up front, the last 3 laps would be the money laps for these guys.
Yeah, normally you start trying something. Oh, and they got lap cars in the way. That's something.
Reddick in the 17, the 11 car Miserandino negotiating lap traffic here. A couple of cars markedly slower, the 98 moving over, giving these guys some room. The 98 car Craig Wheatley from White Bear Lake in Minnesota started 47th on the grid here today. Realizes the race leaders are up there.
That's when you really got to tighten it up. You see that lap car up there, and you know the first car is going to get to it, and you got to make sure you're right up underneath his bumper, so there's no way he can split and use that car as a pick and get that car between you and him. So you really got to get defensive on that when you start doing these lap cars.
The 7 back there, Stripling, he's lost complete touch with the 3 leaders now. He's almost the full backstretch behind, and he's got the 2 lap cars separating him from the top 3. So this looks like it's going to be a 3-way fight for the championship.
Yeah, that's what I figured on the restart way back when. I said this is going to turn into a 3-car deal, because I just looked at who it was. I look at Miserandino, I see Reddick there, I see Harris there, and I know these guys do this all the time. And I said, okay, they got the ball, and we'll see if anybody can play with them. But I didn't think they could. I thought it'd be 3 cars.
Scott Raddick making his 14th appearance at the SCCA National Championship Runoffs. 8 times. This is his 9th go in Spec Racer Ford. He was second a couple of times at Road America, 2010,
drops
2011.
a wheel there. That does
Fourth.
2 things. You could, if it costs you time, that's one thing. But it threw dirt all over the 42. And, Harris is like, I didn't like that at all. I didn't need that rock in my face stuff.
Scott Raddick, you'll see him later this weekend in Formula E here. He is the 4-time defending national champion in Formula E. Look at this. We're going to go 3 wide into 1.
Perfect.
Harris in the 42 makes the move.
That was a really, really good thing to do. The pop out happened, and he's going. I can make it 3 wide here, and if I get a run, I take over.
Raddick getting back into the lead in the 17. Comes out the big winner in that scramble. Harris moves to second. They drop Miserandino back to third.
That dropping the wheels in the dirt and throwing rocks in, that forced aggression.
Yeah.
That makes you mad. And you don't want, so that right there, that was the opening of the can of worms. Now it's on.
Some guys, when they get a little angry, get faster. Others, when they get a little angry, go off.
Yeah, I mean that would, but that's all it takes. It takes one deal like that to set off the. Set the ball in motion.
You're throwing a cherry bomb in the toilet sometimes when that happens.
So it's in motion now. It's on now.
Yeah. Down the back straightaway, the 17 of Raddick is your new leader. Right behind him, the pole sitter Harris in the 42. Miserandino in the 11 sitting right there as well.
Yeah, the whole complexity just changed with that move. Now it's not preserved. Now it's aggression.
3 of the top 4 qualifiers fighting it out for honors in Spec Racer Ford here at Indy. They'll see 2 to go this time by.
And anytime they can from this point forward, they're going to start trying to put a nose in underneath the guy. Watch, just like it's happening right now.
Harris on the 42 taking a look here on the short straightaway.
Thought better of it, and that was probably a wise thing because the 11 would have got him.
Raddick in the 17 is your leader. Harris in the 42, the pole qualifier, sitting second. Miserandino in the 11, maybe the biggest loser in all that's happened here in the last half a lap. We'll see what happens this time as they come out on the front straightaway. 2 laps to go for the leaders. 2 to go this time by.
Yep, double pop out. The 2 cars should be better than the 1.
Harris in the 42, Miserandino in the 11, ganging up on Scott Raddick in the 17
and
here.
They go right by, just exactly like you would think would happen.
Harris is back to the lead.
Yeah, all the smoothness is out the window now.
Yeah.
Now we're playing hardball.
Whatever you saved for these last couple of miles in Spec Racer Ford, now's the time to use it.
And 2 is always better than 1. So when somebody makes a move, you're going to go with that car. And if you get trapped out, you're just a sitting duck.
All right, so let's fast forward here a little. What happens after the white flag? You've got 2 more runs on the front straightaway. Start finish here pretty close to the final turn. You can't do this at the end of the straightaway on the last lap. You got to make your move early.
So the start finish is a given. We're going to do a double pop there every time we get to it again. So, but that's not enough with 2 laps to go. You're going to have to find another place, along the way to improve your position 1 over whoever it might be in front of you.
The 91 car, you've got some lap traffic coming up here. That's Jim Tybor from Colorado, qualified 36th here. So the leaders may get to lap traffic before the checker.
Right now, I wouldn't want to be Harris. I wouldn't want to be the lead car, knowing that I got that big straightaway coming up here.
He moves out of the way. Good move here. Lap cars giving way to the 3 leaders. White flag will be in the air this time by. Harris, Miserandino, your top 2. And they have started to pull away just a little bit here on Mike Miserandino.
Miserandino, though, if you're the 3rd place car, you can drop back like he did do, I think. And you can get a big run going and wait for the 11 car to pop. And then you'll have like 2 or 5 mile per hour better than the 11 car has. And you can whistle right by him. I think that's exactly what Miserandino is trying to do right now. We'll see if we've got a lot of cars in the way up in front.
Harris is your leader in the 42. He will swing inside. Here's Miserandino on the 11 coming up alongside Harris now. White flag waving. Miserandino will use the lap traffic maybe to his advantage. This couldn't be worse for the leader Harris in the 42 car. Miserandino squeezes by.
But it's not over. The 52 car has not been cleared yet. And he's gonna, he gets out of the way. Okay, he's clear now.
But he was right there in the corner. That had to kill the corner speed for some of these cars.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it's a chess game right now with these lap cars and there's a pick.
Now we've got the backstretch coming up. Harris in the 42 sizing up Miserandino. Back there in 3rd is Raddick.
This
He's
is
won
going
a
to
bunch
be
of gold medals at these runoffs in different classes.
this is going to be 3 wide coming across the line the way I look at it right now.
Final lap of Spec Racer Ford. 50 cars strong here at Indy. 3 drivers to settle it amongst themselves down the backstretch.
This is a hard one to call. I think these 3 guys will be 3 wide when we get to the start-finish line.
Most of the passing has taken place on the front stretch and down in turns 1 and 2. If you're one of the challengers here, if you're Harris or if you're Reddick, that may not play to your advantage because we haven't seen much action in these last few corners.
I think Harris is in the best place, in second place. It's hard to say.
He's got to have help, though. Reddick's got to close in and help him get off that last corner, and here we come. Coming down to the last few corners here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway and Spec Racer Ford.
And they stack them up, but see how clean we get off the corner. Everybody looks pretty good right there.
Miserandino, your leader in the 11. Harris in the 42 is second. Reddick in the 17 is third. Miserandino off the curbing a little.
Harris still looking good to me. He's got the draft help.
Coming to the line, start finish close to that last corner. Leaders duck to the inside. The 11 of Miserandino is going to get there first. Mike Miserandino is your winner in Spec Racer Ford. Harris in the 42 car. Looks like he's going to come home in second spot. We'll see what the final order finishes here. And Reddick in the 17. Those are your top 3.
Well executed. I mean, that is exactly what I expected out of those top 3. I didn't know what position they'd be in at the end, but I knew the 3 of them had the discipline to work it out. As we see one of the cars dropping 2 wheels, if not 4, off on the last turn.
Great 3-way battle to the honors here today in Spec Racer Ford. We've still got some fights for position going on here.
Absolutely. You have 50 cars. There's a bunch of them.
Deep in the final lap of this one. The 102 and the 62 fighting for positions. Running order there at the top of your screen. Some of these cars qualified in the second half of the field, but very much battling for position here.
You look at lap times, and all these cars from the front to the back are running similar lap times. What makes the difference of how far back you are is the luck that happens during the race.
Sure.
How disciplined you are and what happens around you has a lot to do with it also.
The 102 of Roy Hillenberg in contention for this position deep in the field. The 62 car back there in the fight as well. Great battling all throughout Spec Racer Ford. Mike Miserandino is your winner. Todd Harris gets credit for second. Scott Reddick will take home third. Stripling is fourth. Turner is fifth. Harper, Solis, Ogburn, Blackwell in ninth. And Fox rounding out the top 10 in the 181.
Kind of a shame that the start-finish or the finish line isn't at the turn 1 end of that straightaway.
It would be an opportunity to bust out of the draft and maybe make some hay in the final lap. But you've got to make your move in these last couple of corners here.
Absolutely.
As you come to 15, because you've just got a short run to get to start and finish here. All right, we'll take a timeout at the SCCA runoff. Spec Racer Ford to Mike Miserandino. We'll hear from him in just a moment.
Coverage of the SCCA National Championship Runoffs is presented by Mazda. Driving matters.
Every stitch is a part of me. All these shapes and designs express our devotion to craftsmanship. I want people to feel our passion when they touch it and when they drive it.
The all-new Mazda CX-5. Can you feel something without touching it? See something with your eyes closed. When everything is designed around you, the driver, you can. The Mazda 3.
Welcome back to Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Coverage of the 54th SCCA National Championship Runoff. Spec Racer Ford complete. Your winner is Mike Miserandino, and he is with Hayward Wagner.
Mike Miserandino, the first person to come over and congratulate you. The second place finisher, Todd Harris, says, man, that was fun. What was that like?
Yeah, that was an absolute blast. I'm worn out. That was probably one of the toughest races I've ever done. Racing with champions like Todd and Scott Reddick makes it that much more fun, but also that much more rewarding. To be here at Indy, it's so emotional. You know, the Runoffs is our Indy 500, and to have our Runoffs here is just so amazing. And I gave a couple of these Gen 2 ones away a couple years ago, so to finally get one and to get the last one at Indy is amazing. And
What is it like to have a Scott Reddick, a Todd Harris, and Mike Miserandino 3 wide down the front straightaway of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway?
that was incredible. I mean, I couldn't believe it. And we never touched. Like I said, those guys are total champions. We had so much fun. Great strategy with lap traffic. And I got some lucky breaks, and here I am. It's pretty cool.
Well, congratulations to you, the last Gen 2 national championship.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks to my whole MBI Racing crew. This is for them, my mom and dad, my wife. My kids are all here. Thank you to everyone that supports MBI Racing, and thanks for SCCA for letting us race at Indy. This is awesome.
You know, you're almost completely out of the car, and the bricks are just right there.
Mike Miserandino not passing up the opportunity to come over and kiss the bricks, kind of a tradition here at Indy.
Yeah, how could you not, man? This is like the most special thing. And to cap off the Gen 2 format, as a past champion, racing against past champions, and to be here at Indy and do the brick kiss and the whole thing, that'll be there lasting forever.
No question. Miserandino, your winner. Harris gets credit for second. Reddick is third. Stripling and Harper, the rest of your top 5. Back downstairs to Hayward.
In the booth, have talked a lot today about rivalries, but friendships within rivalries. You get out of the car, your first words to Mike Miserandino, congratulations, so much fun. How much fun was that for you?
It was a fun race. I mean, Scott and Mike are two of the best competitors, and Scott was very smart in the beginning. He just kept pushing Mike and trying to keep me out of that party. I know they wanted to make it a two-guy party there. And I tried to hang in there, and then it was with the lap traffic that I kind of was able to get closer, have a shot, get to the lead. And then on that last lap, we had 4 cars we had to go through down the straightaway. I didn't know what lane to pick, whether to draft them or go to the inside. Mike went inside, and heck of a race. Mikey Miz is the man, and it's fitting that he's the last Spec Racer Ford champion because he's won a lot of them. I think it's 5 of them now in the last 10 years or so.
Tell me what you felt coming to the green flag, the pole sitter leading your field to the green flag at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Total bliss. I mean, just happy to be here, blessed to be driving race cars, blessed that I've got a healthy and happy family. Jen, Taylor, you know, here to watch. My buddy Mark came from Portland all the way here, so I'm happy. I got the Pro Drive team, the Flat Out guys helping with the car. Oregon region back in Oregon, they rock. My family, my parents, you know, I was thrilled with that, just being out there. And then my oldest son is at the University of Oregon, so go Ducks and go Beavs.
All right, well, good. Congratulations to you. We'll see you on the podium in just a moment. We're going to grab Scott Reddick next. Scott with the bronze medal. Not the one you most wanted, but still a pretty awesome souvenir to take home from the Indianapolis Runoffs.
Yeah, I mean, it was really cool. I definitely led a few laps there. It's awesome to lead at Indy. Had great racing with Todd and Mike and count on them to race clean. I thought Mike would be able to pull away from Todd, but Todd was really strong, and we caught a little lap traffic, and that got Todd back into the mix. And, you know, I tried my hardest, but it was a fun, clean race. Got to thank my team, Alliance Autosport, my sponsor, Redline Oil, and all my many, many crew and supporters.
All right, well, congratulations to you, and we will see you in the Gen 3 race, correct?
Correct. Thank you.
So all 3 of these guys we will see again this week.
All right, look forward to that as well. Certainly a great battle to the finish. Dorsey Schrader doesn't get a whole lot better than 50 of these Spec Racer Ford Gen 2 machines.
Going out with a bang. That's the way you want to do it, and they put on a great show for everybody here and here at Indy, and it's just great to see this car still out there.
All right, we're going to take a brief break from our coverage. We'll be back in just a few moments with Spec Miata 72 cars strong. If you thought this one was wild, wait till you see that one. Great 3-car battle. We congratulate our third-place finisher, Scott Reddick, our runner-up, Todd Harris, our national champion, Mike Miserandino. For Dorsey Schrader, Hayward Wagner, I'm Rick Benjamin. There is more to come from Indy.